Welcome to another bonus episode of Timm Talk, the podcast occasionally about the DC animated universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And once again, we have I'm just going to say it, our favorite guest reappearing in the podcast.
Yes.
Hello, Shane.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
We're going to try and maybe be slightly less over-the-top energetic than we were for the Fast and the Furious episode.
I don't know.
To be fair, though, Shane and I are not coming off of a James Bond fantasy film draft this
Which
time.
feels like a regrettable mistake
I know.
this time.
Oh, don't worry. It's happening again.
It'll come back.
I'm going to make it happen again. But we are back once again for a bonus episode. At this time, I think, once again, completely pushing the boundaries of the purview of this podcast. I don't think anything will ever be more ridiculous than the one episode we did on single artist soundtracks.
Yes.
I think that is the most niche and furthest from the orbit of what we normally talk about. But
this is another one that spawned from a conversation we had while getting food with some friends.
Yes. Who is the most franchised actor of all time?
Franchisable.
And franchisable, yeah. So we're going to do a couple things here. One, we're going to establish what we define as a franchise.
Yes, which will be
Not at all contentious.
Not at all contentious.
That'll
90%
be
of the podcast.
Yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll
We'll just run through like 5 names and we'll be done.
yeah, and then we'll figure out who is the reigning king or queen.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Probably
It's
king,
not.
probably king of franchises. And then finally, we're going to somehow decide a winner in this conversation between the three of us. So we don't even know how.
Yeah, we
yet.
haven't really set all the rules of the game yet, but there will be a game.
The
Yeah.
points don't matter, and
Exactly.
we're all going to die.
If there's anything
Yes.
we're known for in this podcast is being great at improvising. So
Yes.
let's figure it out as we go. But all right, to start things off, how do we want to define what a franchise is? Cameron, I feel like you actually looked up definitions for this. So let's start
I
with
did,
you.
and they weren't helpful.
Great.
So, in
Helpful
our,
as always, Cameron.
Yes.
I looked it up, but I don't have an answer.
So
You actually did research this time, and it didn't help.
I mean, I did minimal research on like the definition of franchise.
Okay.
I remember
Sick
our,
brag.
I remember
I
our
made my football picks.
I remember our conversation before about this, and we loosened it and tightened it in certain areas. We basically said a franchise is anything with a sequel or a sequel and a remake. It can't be just a string of remakes.
Yeah, so like the example you mentioned before the podcast was Romeo and Juliet. I don't consider that a franchise because that is a story that's been remade a shitload.
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born also would just be a series of remakes, not a
Great.
franchise.
Cool.
I mean, it's existing
Yeah,
IP.
Take that Bradley Cooper
Yeah.
off your list.
Yeah. Well, there goes my Chris Christopherson for Blade and A Star is Born. But
I apologize when you just name a person. I'm gonna laugh every time.
There's going to be so many names that we don't know.
Because, let's just establish this. My list. I like to think my list is for the plebiscite.
okay.
Like,
Someone here has to do that. But so an example of a franchise that would count would be, say, RoboCop. So a series of films, but also has had remakes. Or like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would also fall in the same category as some like Batman.
Yeah, the 90s Batman.
Exactly. So
Street Fighter.
Yes.
Um.
Yes, because Chun-Li is a prequel.
Oh, damn it.
Raul Julia back on the board, baby.
Hey, Adam's Family.
JCVD already was on my list.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Ooh,
See,
spoiler alert.
so
Sorry.
many-
It's just
so many
okay,
people
we'll
we're all gonna
Kumite.
forget. Okay, so the other important question here is: do we count television?
No.
So
I had one point that I was saving for this moment.
okay,
What do we think
All
of
my life.
movies that continued on through television, specifically Fargo?
I'm gonna say
Where's the Buscemi verse? Sorry, man.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
On
It was really
that.
just for Buscemi, so I didn't have any other examples.
I would agree, especially since something like that is, what's the word? Is it anthology? Like they're all separate little instances.
Yeah.
So even furthermore, it feels like those are unrelated stories just under the same moniker.
Yeah, that seems fair. Like I was thinking of the MCU as, of course, like the big example is, unsurprisingly, at some point in this conversation, we're going to be talking about Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
I wouldn't count his, say, like TV appearance on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this. In the same way that I wouldn't count.
Same with like Lady Sif.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't count.
I
say,
also was not putting those on my list but for another reason.
Like I think anything in the like the Netflix Marvel stuff is no at this point. Now, an area where it would get kind of messy would be the impending Disney Plus series, but since those aren't out yet,
Yes,
I think we're going to not count those.
The rules that I made for franchise are they have to be. I'll push it. I'll say, released by end of 2020. Just so we can get Avatar 2.
The Accountant 2 off of my list.
January 2021.
Okay, wait. So we're only going to the end of 2020?
Yes.
The end of this upcoming year.
This is 2019.
Chris also
The end of this
something off his
upcoming
list.
year. God damn it. Listen to my words.
No. I refuse.
Okay, I think my list should more or less hold together then in that case. All right. Wait, so have we established what a franchise is then? That went faster than I expected.
No, I think so. Isn't it?
We will continue to shape this box of franchise because before the problem was my rule of franchise was more than 2, and I think if we limit it to, and then that had all the questions of like, well, the Pixar films there's 2, but there's so many toys and spin-offs. So like we had like Finding Nemo. Before when we had it as more than 2. Would Finding Nemo be a franchise, even though there's only 2 films, but there's all the merchandise and a short?
I count 2 films as a franchise.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we scaled it back to that kind of cleared up a lot of the boundary problems.
Okay. Well, then good. So we got it set. All right. It has to be at least 2 films, and remakes are
Off the table.
Well, I mean, remakes will still work because there will already be.
That's true. There are
one
still
and a
considered
sequel or a
franchise.
prequel.
Okay. All right. So how do we want to?
Do we also decide just making sure about directors' oeuvres? They do not count.
Okay.
As a
Yes,
franchise.
it's worth noting. A director's oeuvre does not count.
I still think Tarantino should count, but for the sake of this, I will let it
The
go.
Apple cigarettes
Yeah.
verse.
Look,
The Big Kahuna Burger verse.
yeah, that's the one where I would say maybe, but I think even then that's ambiguous because I feel like some of them seem to be set in like one version of the universe, sometimes another. I think it's a little bit too unclear, and I feel like
then I feel like we could, if we let one in, then we might have to grow it to both the Rodriguez verse and Tarantino verse.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of
Then
gets out of hand.
It does. It does
Then
get out of hand.
Tarantino immediately
Yeah.
ascends to
And
the power position.
I feel like with Tarantino,
Tarantino's been in the most franchises.
His own.
I feel like with Tarantino, most of that is kind of cameo or like nods and winks and like Easter eggs than it is really establishing a cohesive timeline or cohesive universe.
Yes. So
agree.
hard line, no Tarantino.
Yeah.
No Tarantino, no Anderson, no
Yeah.
Scorsese.
But
Okay, now-
Inarritu is a good to go.
Yeah, all the Inarritu films set in one universe. Wait, hang on. So, okay, along those lines, though, here's another question then, because this actually would affect.
Are you going to say Edgar Wright?
No.
Okay.
I was going to
'Cause
say,
that is a trilogy.
what about Kill Bill? Kill Bill's a weird one. Do we count that as a franchise? Do we count that as a film split into 2 parts? Because
What if we just didn't acknowledge its existence in our count?
we could do that because I didn't factor it into some of mine, and I feel like that's a weird one. I think
He's
Tarantino
gonna have like
himself.
those background martial artists.
Oh yeah, well, and the Crazy 88 number 86 was actually also.
I mean, all of a
in
sudden then we have to
Shanghai
start. We have to start including Sonny Chiba, in which case this shit gets crazy. So I think we don't count it because I think even Tarantino himself considers that one film split across 2 parts, not 2 films.
Sounds great.
Okay, well then, other question.
Yes,
The Hobbits.
I think we count
That one 9-hour movie.
I think we count I just count The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings
As one, okay.
one universe, like one franchise, in the same way that I count Star Wars.
Okay, that
as
makes
one
sense,
franchise.
Okay.
All right, are we cool
I didn't
on
know
the
we counted
rules?
Star Wars as one franchise, but I get that and I agree.
Why would we not count it as one
Oh no,
franchise?
you're saying one franchise. I see what you're saying. Nope, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's one movie.
No, I'm
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
I'm back, guys.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we will. I'm sure there'll be other
all
points
set
of
in the rules,
contention.
listeners. I hope you are. We barely are. Okay, so how do we want to start? Like just going around throwing out names? Or-
Let's start with the.
Should we just start with the right answer and then talk about all the other cool things we found?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I also know this one. So
Okay.
you guys say it first,
Okay,
and then I'll say
Usually-
it on my list
Usually,
too.
how you want to build up anticipation. Usually.
Can I
but-
guess? Can I guess what I think it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had The Rock and Vin Diesel as my 1 and 2. I'm sorry.
I forget that the world outside of Fast and the Furious does not exist for you.
Maybe I just have a recency bias.
Not every bald person is Vin Diesel or The Rock.
Or Jason Statham.
Can I try a couple more times? Well, Samuel Jackson was up there.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Was
Yeah.
that him? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I mean, like, I thought I was going to have a curveball to throw in here, and then when I ran the numbers, because I ran numbers, guys. I ran numbers so hardcore this morning. When I ran numbers, it's Samuel Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So I have 8 franchises. Did I miss any?
Okay.
Star Wars.
All right. Okay, kid, do you have him on your list, Shane?
I do.
Okay, good.
It's
Okay.
number 5.
Okay. How many franchises do you have listed for Samuel L. Jackson?
Okay. Snakes on the Plane.
Not a franchise. Not a franchise.
Well, there's the TV version and the movie version.
Django Unchained. No.
Also not a franchise.
Shaft.
Is a
Is a
franchise.
franchise. I forgot that
It's a
one.
franchise.
All right. Okay. Let's see. What else? Star Wars.
Yep.
Marvel.
Yes.
Okay, you guys go.
Okay. All right. So
So I'm at 9 now.
okay, how many do I have? 16. I have him for
Fuck.
16 franchises.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
What are the 7 that I'm
Okay.
missing?
All right. So because I went through his IMDb today.
Yes.
So
I
I
didn't.
I have him in order, like more or less in order. He was in The Exorcist 3.
Oh,
Counts.
great.
Escape
It
from New
does,
York.
It
yeah.
counts. The Return of Superfly counts. He was in Patriot Games, which means he's in a Jack Ryan film. That's a franchise.
Okay.
Okay,
I
great.
forgot
And then,
about
of course,
those, yeah.
Jurassic Park, Die Hard, Triple X, Shaft, Star Wars, The Incredibles, Unbreakable, the MCU, Kingsman,
I forgot Kingsman,
the new
damn it.
Kongverse,
Okay, good. I was hoping you.
The Hitman's
Oh,
Bodyguard.
he's the villain in Kingsman one, right?
Hitman's Bodyguard?
Kingsman's Bodyguard has a sequel in production. The hit.
But when is it coming out?
The Hitman's Bodyguard has a sequel in production.
Yes.
Why?
Who asked for it? I don't know. I
Ryan
didn't.
Reynolds asked for it.
Delta Airlines was like, give me
The
that
Hitman's
movie.
Wife's Bodyguard comes out in 2020.
All right.
Suck it, Cameron.
Fine.
Uh,
Is it in production? I'm not gonna.
I also
I
have-
don't do like production, post-production bullshit.
I also have him in the new Saw film that's been announced. Let me see when. Let me see when it comes out, though.
I don't want to play the announcement game.
I think, but I mean, I think that might be
'Cause
coming
Flash
out.
has been announced for
I'm pretty sure
17
that's coming
years.
out in 2020. 2020. Post-production Untitled Saw Project. We're
All
counting
right,
it.
all right. Post-production, I'll count it.
He was also in the RoboCop remake.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't know that either because I never saw it, so
Wow.
it counts. Now, so by my math, do you want to know how many franchise films he's been in?
Let me
know.
try and do that mentally.
So
at
you
least
say he's in
16.
16 franchises? I don't know. I'll say 28.
Okay,
Say 31.
it's 35.
Dang it.
35 with a cumulative box office of over $7 billion.
Because he's
Just
he's
like
now
the biggest shouts
biggest,
to him
right?
for just being like yes to everything.
Yeah, he's
Including commercials.
Yeah, like I feel like there's not enough actors that are like, hey, yeah, I'll do that because like at some point I'm gonna hit something. If I just keep saying yes to everything, like what else are you doing with your time other than being in cool
Well,
movies?
but the thing with him is a lot of these he's never the main guy.
Yeah.
And so I think
Yeah.
that makes it a little easier where he can kind of just walk in and out.
Is he considered a character actor then for that place?
I feel like he's kind of transcended character actor. I mean, I think there are.
He's become the character.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
exactly
a
it. It's
little
like we
bit,
need,
yeah,
like,
like-
it's like Christopher Walken, where you're like, we just need the Christopher Walken.
yeah, we need a Samuel L. Jackson type, and he's down.
Yeah.
So
he's always
he's
down.
always down. Like I think at this point now, his personality influences the character to such a degree. But I mean, that's not underplaying him as an actor. Like it's something we talked about with Captain Marvel was the reason he's so good in that movie is that he's playing himself from the 90s.
yeah.
And like that's actually like really crazy when you stop to think about it, that he would be able to like bring himself back to that place and play with that kind of energy. So I mean, obviously he's a phenomenal actor, but like he is those characters in a lot of ways. But I mean, he has so many iconic roles though. I mean, I think Nick Fury is probably going to be one of his most famous. But then of course, Mace Windu,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah, it's Jules, right? In Pulp
Yep.
Fiction.
That is crazy. It's like, okay, if you think back and you have to go like, think of one role that Samuel L. Jackson plays. And honestly, the first thing I said was Kangol Hat doing a Capital One commercial. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
and it's not because he's a bad actor. It's because he plays so many different things that are similar but different.
Yeah. He brings a bit of a different energy.
Well,
to
there
all
was
of them.
there was a graph that I saw a couple years ago now that was it was just his hair and facial hair, and you had to guess the movie based off of that, and you can do it for most of them.
Oh man, that's awesome. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I want to play that game. No, okay, so I mean, from a box office perspective, from a number of movies perspective, from a number of franchise perspective, like he's the definitive answer. But I think there is something to be said for the fact that he is not necessarily the first person you think of when it comes to each of those franchises, right? Like, obviously, yeah, he's in Jurassic Park, but no one thinks Jurassic Park and then goes, oh my God, Samuel L. Jackson. Or no one goes, Samuel Jackson, oh my God, Jurassic Park. So from a statistics perspective, I think he's the top choice. But I think there's an argument to be made of like,
Did you do the numbers on screen time?
I
'Cause
didn't.
that's a whole nother conversation.
That,
Ooh, wow,
that
that
would
is
be a very
actually
different
really
conversation.
interesting.
Which actor has the most screen time?
Well, I mean,
That's a
because then
great
you also
question.
get down to like who,
next week.
like,
Chris will be in the lab
yeah,
for the next 7 days.
yeah, I'll be like 2 weeks on that. That requires a lot of research. But I mean, 'cause-
Welcome back to Tim Talk. I've been fired from my job.
exactly. Yeah. But this has become my full-time thing, doing podcast statistics. But
The answer is Jeremy Renner.
he actually has quite a few franchises. I mean, they're
And
not
a half.
necessarily like taken off anywhere, but you know, we'll
He's
give him credit.
Like the Raucous franchise Viagra. He's like franchise like sleeping pills.
I was like, please come up with the opposite of Viagra.
Franchise cyanide.
I was gonna say like Pepto Bismol. He's kind of like it's a palate cleanser.
He's
So, but I think there's a separate conversation to be had about like who has had the most iconic roles, like who is the person you think about when like who's the person who dominates the franchises that they're in, right? So I think there are a lot of different contenders for that. So I think that is also a conversation worth having is like who stands as the person who is most identified with certain things or who is purely synonymous with the franchises they're
Yeah, like
attached to.
when the listener hears franchise actor, like who's the first name they think of?
Right. So like an interesting case would be, say, Robert Downey Jr., who I think I only have him down actually for
I only have two.
3 franchises.
Kiss Kiss
3.
Bang Bang.
No, never made a sequel. Shamefully.
That's 4.
So obviously the MCU.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Bang.
Yeah. Kissy kissy or bangy bangy. Obviously the MCU and Sherlock, but you guys are forgetting, of course, the Fugitive / U.S. Marshals franchise.
Honestly,
Because technically,
I already hate this
I
podcast.
was gonna say, I was so proud of myself that I said Jack Reacher is a franchise, and he's already 7 levels beyond me.
like he appears in U.S. Marshals, which is a spin-off of The Fugitive because it has the same character played by Samuel L. Jackson. Not Samuel Jackson, sorry.
So, you know, I pitched this idea to him, forgetting that this is just him showing off how big his dick is.
Exactly.
He pitched this, immediately regretted it.
Immediately regret this.
Yeah, this is the one pissing contest you never want to get into with me.
I
is
did
movie
20 minutes
data.
of research, and I forgot Chris has done 30 years of research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus an extra little booster in the last 2 hours before we recorded this podcast.
Oh no.
Okay, but like,
Chris shot himself up with IMDb.
I was gonna say this is gonna be a solo podcast the rest of the time. Where Chris just
well, speaking of solo, no. Okay,
Woody Harrelson.
okay, so
oh god, yeah, that's a good one. I
he's a
didn't
good
even-
poll actually. So I mean,
Do we just want to say like who was the first one we wrote down? Like
yes,
when
okay,
we
that's
made
good.
the list?
Because I don't like. I think Robert Downey Jr. is like the flagship actor and character for the MCU, and I think he's the most synonymous with it. But at the same time, that's basically one.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would count this. So yeah, who are the first person you guys each wrote down?
Shane.
I wrote Tom Cruise was the first person.
Good
Okay.
call. All right.
How many has he been in?
I could think of off the top of my head was Mission Impossible. It just was like that was the first thing that came to mind.
Okay.
Then
So Mission Impossible. Oh, do we count Edge of Tomorrow? I think that's not in production
No,
yet, but it's
it's not-
announced. I don't
not
think
in
we count
production.
that.
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. The Hustler / The Color of Money.
Exactly.
Top Gun.
Yep.
Top Gun. Yes, that does count.
Nope. Can't remember any of the other ones.
Okay.
Isn't Oblivion getting a sequel?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good poll though, because I mean, I think I would definitely give him Mission Impossible and Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that Mission Impossible is known for being a franchise. I feel like Top Gun's known for the one movie, especially because the second one hasn't come out yet. But it
No,
does
you're totally
count.
right. Mm-hmm.
So then, Cameron, who did you write down?
I had Stallone as my first one.
Okay, so let's run through what
Oh, that's a
Stallone.
good-
What does Stallone have? On
That's
your
a really
list?
good one.
The ones that I could think of, Rambo, which
Yeah.
just had its
Fifth movie.
come out, and I've heard it's doing horribly.
Not surprising.
Wait, what?
Have you guys ever seen First Blood, the original Rambo movie?
It's so boring.
I mean, it is, but it's like the crazy thing is that is actually an anti-war film.
Yes, definitely.
Like it actually
yeah.
has a lot of really interesting commentary about like violence and PTSD and police brutality and abuse and those sort of things. And it's actually a very intelligent film.
True.
And then within I think like one movie, it just became a parody of itself.
Right, and then the second one, he goes back to Vietnam and just kills everyone.
Just kills everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say that my favorite part about Rambo existing is that it gave us Hot Shots Part 2. Wait, that's not an obscure reference. Everyone knows Hot Shots
I
Part
don't
2.
think I do.
I don't think I do either.
You guys know Hot Shots at least? Hot Shots was the Charlie Sheen vehicle where it's parodying Top Gun and the second one's parodying Rambo, and those are two really ridiculously funny films.
Oh, I don't think I've
I've
seen
not seen
them.
either.
All right, we're watching them at some
Okay,
point.
well, here's another question about building this box of franchise.
Okay.
Are we only counting theatrically released films?
I think so.
Okay.
Why? What is your counterpoint or your...
Well, I just thought of Michael Rosenbaum, who's in a bunch of straight-to-DVD releases.
He is?
Well, I mean, all of the animated DC films,
Oh, okay.
which are pitched as films.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think those... I wouldn't
So
count
Land
those.
Before Time, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are out.
You know, surprisingly,
Shit.
yes.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the Land Before Time series?
I mean, yes, definitely, I
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
And all of their famous actors have...
I don't know a single famous actor from any of those movies.
I'm sure there's someone. in
Okay,
there.
I will give you the Land Before, but like that's weird because if you get to like Land Before Time or like Air Bud or one of those things where it's like those movies,
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. What about the dog?
like I mean that
Cam, I don't want to tell you something, but that dog did do it.
that dog
Well, I mean-
dog is long dead.
I was not gonna go for the dog. I was
dog.
gonna go for the monkey that's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't think it's that same monkey.
Oh,
Well, I feel like
Cameron.
that monkey's been in other things though.
I'm pretty sure I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it's
dude.
not the same monkey
Oh
though.
my god, I gotta add Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah.
Some other names. Can I just throw out some
Oh,
big?
wait, hang on. I want to stay on Stallone a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
So I
Oh,
had
let's-
5 for
Said
Stallone.
no one ever.
Oh, over the top 2.
Yeah. I had 5 for Stallone. So Rambo. Are we combining Rocky and Creed?
Yes.
Okay. So Rocky, Creed, Expendables, Guardians, and my favorite of them all, Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. All right, you are missing one.
Damn it.
Escape Plan, which somehow has 2 sequels.
Great.
So, but
Stop or my mom will shoot.
yeah, but I mean, so the thing is, Stallone is really high up there. So cumulatively, he has 22 franchise films.
Wow.
That's pretty
Oh,
good,
because
yeah.
Rocky is a billion, Rambo's
Well,
a billion.
Rocky's 8, Rambo's 5, 4 Expendables, 1 Spy Kids, 3 Escape Plans, and 1 in the MCU.
Jeez.
Yeah, so like he is definitely high up there. I had as my number one. First person came to my mind was Harrison Ford.
Okay. Yeah, here's my
he was-
second one.
Yeah. Also.
Yeah, well, because so I mean he's got.
No, he was after.
Is that Ford or Fjord? How do you spell that?
Never heard of him.
Ford Escape.
Wait, has someone
Ford Focus,
ever done
Ford
like
Fusion.
an SNL bit about like Harrison Ford's like Scandinavian cousin Harrison Fjord?
You know,
We'll pitch it.
I'm not going to be mean, but I think that joke's no more than one note.
But I will find a way to drag out that Harrison Fjord bit for at least 3 minutes.
Oh boy.
Okay, but I have him for Star Wars, Indiana Jones,
Yes.
Blade Runner,
Yep.
Yes.
Jack Ryan, The Expendables, and over the course of writing this list, I realized The Fugitive technically
The
is
U.S.
a franchise.
Marshals franchise.
Exactly. No one ever
That's
forgets
my fave
the
franchise.
U.S. Marshals franchise. So for him,
One arm.
that means that I have
Wait,
him.
did you put Blade Runner? Did you say Blade
Yes,
Runner?
he
I did say Blade Runner. So I have him in for 18 franchise films. Now, wait, I
Jeez.
feel like you did an animated voice recently in something, though.
Get off my plane.
Yeah.
I wish
I'm
we had
gonna-
gotten an Air Force One sequel. Can we just count that as a
Called
franchise?
Air Force 2? No. I mean, it's a thing.
If anything, I would guess he was probably a voice in the Lego movie. Because I feel
No,
like
I don't think
everyone
so.
was in that movie.
I'm looking it up real quick. Hang on. The Secret Life of Pets
That's what it is.
2.
Yep.
You are definitely not wrong.
Wait, there's more.
There's a lot of people in that.
I forgot 2 things we must add him in for. All right, so we also have him in for The Secret Life of Pets 2. We also have him in for Anchorman 2.
Yes. Okay. 'Cause I have a
my-
couple Anchormans on here. Just one, actually.
Okay, so that bumps him
You
up
have
to
some Anchormen.
Yes.
All right, so that bumps him up to 20. So as of right now, the rankings are Samuel Jackson at 35, Stallone at 22, Harrison Ford at 20. All right. I have a curveball I want to throw in here, though.
Oh, please let me hear it.
All right. So, because I was trying to think of who is someone that maybe wouldn't immediately come to mind, but has been in a shitload of franchise films. And I actually have someone that comes very, very close to Samuel Jackson. I was hoping it would actually usurp him, but missed it by just a tiny little bit. Can you guess who that actor is?
Ken.
Okay.
The Hangover.
All right.
What's his-
I will give you 2 huge franchises.
Can
that
I
he's been
guess
in.
one? And I'm thinking like maybe just because I haven't thought about older movies.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Good call. I didn't actually do the numbers on him.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest.
He's not in a lot of franchise movies. I did have.
because he did.
But he has a lot of Hong Kong
Yeah, because like
franchises. Is it Police?
Police was his first one.
Yeah.
and then what's the Legend of the Drunken Master has like
Yeah.
4 movies.
Should I look this up real fast?
There's
No,
only-
I don't
okay.
think so. Because then I was thinking like Shanghai Nights, Shanghai Noon,
He's got that. He's got Rush Hour.
What about who's the guy? He's in Fast and Furious. He's also the main guy in
Vin Diesel?
Ip Man.
Donnie Yen.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie Yen's in a cut. He's in Triple X,
Triple
Fast
X,
and Furious,
Furious,
Ip Man.
Ip Man. Kickboxer. No.
Well, in that case, Mike Tyson, Hangover, Ip Man.
Oh, that's true. Mike Tyson's an Ip Man?
Yeah, he's the secondary villain of Ip Man 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You said that
All
like
right.
we should know that
I know.
so easily, and like wow.
Yeah. Let's also not forget his TV show, Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
I would never.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out the 2 franchises, contemporary franchises this actor is most known for. Let's see if you can figure out who it is. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Also James Bond.
No, I'm so embarrassed.
Hold on.
Also, James Bond. Can you name the James Bond movies in?
The Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh yeah, our boy Chris.
Christopher Lee.
Oh yeah.
So
Who did Frank Oz voice Yoda?
Frank Oz.
I feel like Frank Oz is in a lot of shit.
He voiced Yoda, and he does a lot of the Muppets too.
Yeah.
So
So then-
he could be high up there as well.
Like
but I
Andy
think
Serkis.
I have
I have
Andy
Andy
Serkis
Serkis on
on
my
here.
list.
He's got quite a few, but not that many. But so for Christopher Lee, I ran the numbers, of course, this morning. I have him down for Dracula, which he did 10 films.
Damn.
Sheesh.
Fu Manchu, where he did 5.
Great.
4 Sherlock
Remember the
Holmes.
sixth
No, he
one.
didn't. Let's just say no, he didn't.
We just erase that one.
Let's skip that one entirely. It's a different time. 4 Sherlock Holmes movies, 1 James Bond movie, 5 Lord of the Rings movies, and 4 Star Wars movies because he did voice Dooku in the theatrical release Clone Wars movies. That does count. Now, that puts him at a total of 29.
Dang.
It's pretty close behind Samuel Jackson.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, Samuel Jackson already has a head start and also has the advantage of still being alive.
Yes.
But,
and also being in most of the Star Wars.
Gets super bodied Christopher Lee.
yeah. Now, oh, wait.
May he rest in peace.
Oh, wait, no, shit, sorry. He's only in 3 Star Wars movies because he wasn't in episode 1. So,
Right.
sorry, Christopher Lee, you're down to 28. Now, the other thing is, Sherlock Holmes, that one's kind of weird because he starred in 1 movie as Sherlock Holmes. He did many years later 2 TV movies also starring as Sherlock Holmes, and I couldn't tell if technically they were supposed to be the same character or not. And they played Mycroft Holmes in another movie. So it's not the same character necessarily all the way through, but I kind of felt like he should be counted for all 4 just because he did appear in
A Sherlock
a,
Holmes.
like a Sherlock property 4 times.
Yeah, I think that makes
So I
sense.
feel like that should count. So, but I mean, that's pretty good at 28 though. And then, I mean, we're not talking director's oeuvre. Otherwise, we would count him for a vast majority of all the Tim Burton movies as well. I mean, that's a whole separate conversation. Maybe a separate podcast we had at some point.
Ooh.
But
What is the franchise? Welcome back to Tim Talk.
we're here to talk about director's oeuvres. This is an excuse for me to say the word oeuvre.
This is like an ASMR where we just say oeuvre a bunch.
But he was probably up there. But who else do you guys have? What are some of your other big ones?
Can I just throw out some big names?
Please.
Go for it.
I had Statham for the Transporter.
Yeah, Statham's definitely a big one.
So what's Transporter, Crank,
Crank.
Fast and Furious, and
Death Race.
I had like
Death Race. Did that get sequels?
So his Death Race is a prequel to Death Race 2000 or 3000. 2000.
Okay, you know what? I'll count that. 'Cause I think.
No, not a prequel. It's a remake of Death Race, which had a sequel.
Yes. Okay, that fits our rules then.
great. What about any of the Guy Ritchie movies? Are any of those linked?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
Or if they are, I don't think so.
And we want to say it on the podcast. Italian Job is part of the franchise.
Oh, yes.
franchise.
Let's just make this clear. Italian Job is part of the Fastiverse. So.
That is not.
It is attached by the what's the car?
It's a Mini Cooper.
the Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper. It's definitely the
Pedestrian
truth.
schmuck.
I don't know anyone that owns a Mini Cooper.
Here's the thing. We have a quorum. We took a vote.
No.
Chris, you lose.
Yes.
No. Because it
Majority
doesn't count.
rules.
Quorum.
It was an homage, not an actual
Homage.
not an actual continuity establishment. Here's another reason
What
why.
if it's the same license plate?
Here's another reason why it's not. Charlize Theron.
What if it's the same registration?
Charlize Theron in Italian Job, also in the Fast and Furious franchise, as a different character.
We
It's her
don't know
twin.
that for sure. We only know that her name is Cypher.
Yeah.
God damn it. I give up trying to win this argument, even though I know I'm right, because you two idiots will never let it go.
That is correct.
No, because we know we're gonna win.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Okay.
see. I had Vin Diesel, Triple X,
Riddick.
Fast and Furious, Riddick.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
here's my other question on what is a franchise. Sorry, continue. And then I'll
What?
make a
Didn't you say one of his other movies is getting a sequel? That YouTube video of him
His D&D
breakdancing.
campaigns.
comment. Yes. So here's my question of franchise.
Pacifier 2.
That's actually the movie I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Wait, did the Pacifier 2?
No, but they made another film with the same director, which is basically a remake of the same story.
The Tooth Fairy?
No, The Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I would consider that a sequel.
No, I don't. No. That is
the
called
Pacifier Spy Next Door verse is
Yeah.
not a go.
that is called a spiritual sequel, not an actual sequel. Okay, I got another one here for you guys. Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I had Hugo Weaving on my list.
Nice.
So we got him for The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Transformers as the voice of Megatron.
Megatron.
Of course, the MCU as Red Skull. Now, can you name his other really obscure franchise? I'm sure you can't because I didn't know it. He's in both Babe and Babe Pig in the City
Fuck yes.
as a voice.
Is he Babe?
Yeah.
No, I think it was Rex. I'm not sure what that character is.
I think it's a dog.
But probably as a dog. That puts him at 14 filmed, which is
Wow.
pretty good.
Okay. Another person I had, Stanley Tucci.
Oh,
I
the
didn't have the
Tooch.
Tooch.
The Tooch is
Tooch.
loose. Transformers, Hunger Games,
Oh,
Percy Jackson.
Fuck
oh
yeah.
shit, he is in Percy Jackson. Yeah.
And he's in like every single one of all of these. I think he's in, I mean, maybe he's only in one or two Transformers.
He's, I think, only in 2 Transformers. I think he was in the latter 2. I think he plays Merlin. I've never seen the last couple of them.
I don't remember.
I didn't bother.
And then, nope, I always confuse him with Mark Strong when they're both bald.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Actually, it's just bald actors.
actually, hang on.
It's bald and
Oh
Tom
my
Cruise.
God, my list is just bald actors.
And Tom Cruise.
Tilda Swinton, what are you doing here?
Wait, actually, Mark Strong's not a bad poll because he would be Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
He would be Sherlock Holmes. Mm-hmm. They never got a sequel for Green Lantern, so that doesn't count. I feel like there's at least one more for him.
He's not in Marvel?
No, not yet.
Oh, wow.
Which is shocking. I feel like he'll get in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
real miss. Oh,
Um,
isn't Stanley Tucci also in Captain America?
Yes.
He is. Oh, there you
Tooch.
go. The Tooch. All right. I got another one here for you guys. We talked about it before. Andy Serkis.
Yep.
So we got him in Planet of the Apes, Lord of the Rings, MCU Star Wars for a total of 12 films.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I love me some Serkis.
I had one. Sorry, I'm trying to find one last curveball, because I didn't even think about the voice acting community.
Yeah.
And
So I think
Because I just went straight to the big boy. I went to Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
And he has over 1,000 credits, and I'm not going to scroll through that in the middle
Yeah.
of the podcast.
I mean, this is where I become a bit of an asshole because I love voice actors, and I'm really sad that voice acting in major studio films at this point now has been replaced by just getting big name actors. But I also like that's a weird one. Do we count that? And
If it's a franchise, yeah.
yeah, I guess it is. But I guess then the question becomes, who's going to run the numbers? Like, who's going to find like the voice actor who's been in the most theatrically released movies? Because I think that becomes hard because we haven't really had big name voice actors in major roles in theatrically released animated films for 20 years, basically.
I know. I'll do it. I'll do it off air. Obviously.
Okay, come back to us next week, Cameron.
Yeah,
You have
but I mean, we
homework.
have Mel Blanc. I'm sure is going to be way up there. Frank Oz is going to be up there.
Yeah,
I feel like John DiMaggio is probably going to be up
John
there.
DiMaggio,
Tom
Billy
Kenny.
West. Yeah, Tom Kenny, Maurice
Troy
LaMarche,
Baker.
Phil Lamar
Yeah,
would be in a lot of stuff. Change is like, yeah.
I know Phil Lamar. There we go.
Do you actually know what he's from?
He's in Futurama.
He
He's
is.
in Mad TV.
He is.
He was,
Yes. Well
yeah.
done. You know one of his few like major live action appearances.
In Pulp
also,
Fiction.
He's in Pulp Fiction. He's got his head blown off in the back of the car.
Oh yeah, you're right. He is.
Yeah, he called into my film class in college.
That's
We
awesome.
got to have like an interview with him.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I was working as a PA on a shoot, and we actually interviewed him, and like it was really interesting to like be in the room listening to him talk because he's just done so many crazy things. 'Cause
What,
he came
what
out
other
of,
VO stuff has he done?
I mean,
Green Lantern,
everything. I mean,
in the Justice League shows,
Oh,
he
okay.
was Samurai. He's in
He
in
is-
Samurai Jack.
Oh, okay. Wow.
yeah.
Who is he in
Static.
Samurai Jack? Because there's only Jack and Aku.
He's Jack.
Oh, he's Jack. Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Aku is Mako, who is Uncle Iroh in Avatar.
Right.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah. I mean,
Long
Mako
ago.
actually.
Hey,
In any, I googled when is Avatar coming to a streaming service just recently.
Viacom is so frustrating that they are so stuck in the past. They don't even think streaming services are a thing. It's a whole other fuck Viacom.
I mean, Mako would be a good call though.
Mako would be a great.
So, I mean, I guess it's worth acknowledging like we are focused mostly on like
American
American
actions.
franchises,
Yeah.
and I think I mean that is
American
that
franchises.
is
Right, totally, that's what it is.
If we're going to call this journalistic short sight on our part,
Yes.
because actually
Our
it's,
quick planning
Yeah.
did not prepare for this.
yeah, our 20 minutes of research
Yes.
before.
yeah, because you're right. Like someone like Mako or Jackie Chan, like do have a lot of franchises in their pocket. I think
I had-
Chow Yun Fat too has been in a lot of stuff. Like he's someone we probably should have like done a deeper dive on too.
I had one semi-international actor on my list. That was going to be my curveball, but I was a little surprised at how few things he's actually been in.
Which one?
Antonio Banderas.
I also had
Oh.
Antonio Banderas. Yeah. Zorro, Spy Kids, Oceans, and he's also apparently in Judge Dredd.
I wouldn't count Judge Dredd though.
Oh, you saying the Carl Urban one's a remake?
Well, yeah, because it's we have two one-off films, so I don't think we would count that.
So
based on
I had
Damn it,
Banderas.
okay.
because otherwise we'd have to include Judge Dredd in Stallone's.
You're right.
I had Banderas as Expendables, Shrek, Spy Kids,
Oh.
Zorro, SpongeBob.
Yes,
in
that's
the
true.
SpongeBob second
Yeah.
movie, and Machete.
Oh, Machete.
Oh, Machete kills.
Another person we should have done, Danny Trejo.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I brought this up before the podcast. I did look in Danny Trejo, but he had like 400 things on IMDb, and I didn't
Yeah.
feel like scrolling through in 20 minutes.
What would be interesting?
So he gets a very, very honorable mention.
yeah,
Yeah.
So actually, I do kind of want to look this up at some point. I'd be curious to see how many times Danny Trejo has appeared as the character Machete, because he might beat out Samuel Jackson for Nick Fury. Because I think I have Nick Fury I have 11 appearances for him, excluding TV, including like post-credit stuff like that, like one-off little moments, which would beat out Christopher Lee's 10 Dracula films. I'm curious if Danny Trejo has played Machete more times.
It's a good question.
And actually, I would have to. How many times?
We'll let you know right after this break.
I know, yeah. How many times has Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man? We're not going to do the math on air.
We'll get that.
Iron
No, we're
Man
not gonna do the math
2,
on air.
3, Avengers. Was he in Incredible Hulk?
Fuck you. Okay, fine. Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Avengers.
We'll just cut this.
Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron,
Civil War.
Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame.
10.
I don't think we count Spider-Man Far From Home because he's never appears.
You get a voice.
We get like a voice, but like, I think, do we even get like, but I don't think it's even a new voice, right? I feel like I don't think we have any new material from him at any point.
Okay. Then yeah, just the 10.
Yeah, but he is rumored to appear in Black Widow.
We're not counting rumors.
We're not counting rumors. So, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, no matter what, it'll still end up being Samuel Jackson because we like may squeak out like one more appearance from RDJ, but we're gonna get multiple Nick Fury appearances.
Samuel Jackson remains very available.
Yeah, he is. He's the best. Okay. All right. So we're talking about. Actually, no. Let's spend some time. This has been a very male-centric list. I have a few women on here. I mean, there's a whole separate conversation we built around the fact that women don't get to do a lot of franchises.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
But let's at least focus on some of them that have been able to. So, Cameron, I know you had a few. Who do you have?
I did. Do we start with the biggin?
Yeah, let's do the big
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She is in Alien, Avatar, which Avatar 2 will be out in 2020, which is why I pushed it to 2020.
Yeah, take that, Chris.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, Finding Nemo, and then my questionable one, which we've now cut out of the box, is I had her in The Defenders.
Yeah,
which-
I don't count that.
Mm-hmm. So I have her in 4. What am I forgetting?
No, I had so Alien, Ghostbusters, Avatar, Finding Nemo, which would put her in 9 films. Because we're only doing, to your point, we're only doing the first 2 Avatars, even though the 5 have been announced because we don't know how far
Yes.
in we'll get.
Which also cuts a lot of Zoe Saldana, which is the next one I assume we're going to talk about.
Yes, exactly. So I have her. Actually, I want you guys to say what you have because I think I have a curveball for her.
I
on this
forgot
one.
about Zoe Saldana.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I had to say it as quickly as possible. Avatar.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Okay, wait. So how many MCU films? It's 4.
4.
Right? 2 Guardians and then the 2 Endgame. Or the Infinity
Yeah.
War Endgame, right? So 4. Okay, I have her on there for 5. That's weird. Okay, 4. Okay,
Are they in any one of the Thor movies for any reason?
no, just in those 4. So
Was she in?
she was in Pirates of the Caribbean, the first
That's
one.
yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
What is
she
she
was-
in Pirates of the Caribbean one?
Oh,
She's part of the crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Jack stole her boat.
Yes.
She did not reappear, sadly. So we have her 1 Pirates film, 2 Avatar films, 3 Star Trek films,
That's
Right.
fuck. How did I forget Star Trek?
4 MCU movies, and guys, we have 1 more. She's in My Little Pony.
Fuck yeah, she is.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of your page.
Oh yeah,
Your
yeah.
thumb was covering it.
Yeah, it's right when
Yeah.
I wrote Brad Pitt on my number 55.
Right? Which puts her at 11, which is pretty good. Now I have 1 more. Scarlett Johansson.
The Lost in Translation verse.
And okay, no, so I have to like go back and run I forgot to list how many movies she was in for each, but obviously the MCU. In which case, fuck it, we'll just do it on air. I don't really give a shit at this point. Iron Man 2.
Doing it live.
Iron Man 2, Avengers 1, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers 2, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War Endgame, and I think we can count Black Widow at this point because it's impending. So 8, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss any? Sounds right.
That's
Wow.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so she's in 8 MCU films. She was in a SpongeBob movie.
Is she the princess?
I think
She is the princess.
I think so. I think she's in 1 SpongeBob movie.
She's in the first one. She's the daughter of Triton.
How
Okay.
are the old SpongeBob movies?
First one's still great.
Is it? I don't know if I've ever seen
I'm a
it.
Goofy Goober Rock. Still a banger.
All right, I gotta check it out.
I also it is technically a franchise, but the second movie won't be out in term for 2020. But Sing, she's in the
Okay.
movie Sing, and that did get a sequel, so we're gonna count that. And then, can you name the last franchise that she's in?
Also, Babe.
No, this yeah, I would love that, but no,
Is
this
it a voice acting or live action?
live action, really early live acting role from her.
Scream.
La Femme Nikita.
Home Alone 3.
That's right. She's the older sister.
She's the bitchy older sister.
Fuck yeah. I
In
hate that. I
Home
knew that.
in Home Alone 3.
Duh. If you were listening to the podcast and you didn't know that, log off, please.
Yeah, so I'm gonna count Sing 2 because it does
Okay, yeah, sure.
actually establish as a franchise. In which case, that is good old 11 for
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson.
Jeez, wow.
I know. Okay, you guys got some other weird curveballs you want to throw in here?
Two I didn't mention. I was thinking from the '80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Ever heard of him?
I meant to list him, and I ended up not.
He's a governor. He's not an actor.
Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Ever heard of him?
I did. I had Schwarzenegger on here.
Because he's got what? Terminator, Expendables,
Conan, Expendables,
Predator.
Predator.
90s Batman.
Yes, that's true. Okay, wait. So he's been in 1, 2, 3. I guess we'll count what 4 Terminator films. Do we count Terminator Salvation when he's? Oh no, 5.
Yeah. It's still his face.
So
He might have signed. He might have not signed off on it.
So wait, then he's
Still in it.
So actually, no. I guess all 6 then. If we count the new one. Okay, so 6 Terminator films, 1 Predator film.
How many Conan?
But charisma for like 4.
Yeah.
Yo,
I think,
mean,
Oh,
Danny Glover gets taken over by him in the second.
actually, that's a good question. Did the original Conan ever get a sequel?
I don't think so.
If it did, it might have been like a straight to release.
Oh no, it did. Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Great, nailed it.
Okay. All right. So that means we got 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. And how many Expendables movies is he in? I think 2 of them, maybe.
I have not seen any of them.
Okay.
2 sounds like a good guess.
It's 12 or 12, 13, somewhere in that ballpark.
I really feel like we're just forgetting
shit,
like a
those are both
huge
good
thing. Like
ones.
Kindergarten Cop or Mr. Mom had like a sequel.
I mean, that was Michael Keaton and Mr. Mom.
Yeah, whatever. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was thinking of Twins. To be
I mean,
honest,
they are talking
Wait,
about
I
making a
heard-
Twins movie, a
Yeah.
Twins sequel.
Fine,
So,
can I have a sheet of paper? I just need to write these down.
all right.
Frantic.
The other person I had was Chevy Chase,
Oh, wait. Okay, Fletch.
Caddyshack,
Was he in Caddy? Oh, yeah, Caddyshack got a sequel. So Fletch, Caddyshack.
National Lampoon.
Yeah, 4 films for that. 5, actually.
Has he do voice stuff ever?
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't work anymore because he's an asshole.
I feel like those things go hand in hand.
Okay, all right. I got some other. Actually, I've gone through most of my list. All right, I have one. I have one more curveball here for you guys.
Okay.
Any other like '80s comedy actors? I was thinking it was like Bill Murray maybe or something like that. When it's just like they get credit because whenever they do a funny movie, they end up doing a shitty movie after it, but it's a franchise.
Yeah,
So you-
exactly. They're, like they sequelize it even though they're not part of the sequel.
Oh, Bradley Cooper, Hangover, Marvel,
Hangover and Marvel.
because we don't get credit for Stars Born.
Nope. And mercifully, they never made a sequel to Wedding Crashers. So. All right.
And Limitless was a TV show after. Right?
That's true. Yeah, it's expanded into TV. All right, I have another one. 2 more here for you guys.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
Yo, yeah, okay,
So-
totally.
He was in one of the Jack Ryan films. So we count that. He was in both of the Almighty films, both Bruce and Evan. He
I
was in.
had Jim Carrey on my list and
Yeah.
didn't have the Almighty films.
Nope.
Wow.
He was in Red, which got a sequel. He was in the Lego Movie, which of course is its own franchise. He was in Ted as a voice or something. I forget where he was, but he was in Ted 2. Dolphin Tale.
Bruce Willis. Were you gonna have Bruce Willis after you said that?
Oh, I forgot about
No.
Bruce Willis.
What was the last movie you said? again.
Dolphin Tale, Ted, Red.
Ted. That's right. This guy's in Ted.
Morgan Freeman also.
Berg? The Berg himself?
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg?
No. It's
All
close
right.
though. It's close. I got a sneaky one.
Donnie
coming up on you
Wahlberg?
then.
That was it?
Yeah.
You got Donnie.
Wahlburgers is a franchise. Remember that.
Hang on, I'm not Morgan Freeman, guys.
Sorry.
Dolphin Tale, Ted, Now You See Me, the Has Fallen franchise,
Fuck yeah, now you see
and
me.
of course the Dark Knight trilogy. So,
Wow, that is a good one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 for him. Pretty good.
You also forgot Shawshank Redemption 2, Ziawantanehu Blues.
What?
The little known Shawshank Redemption sequel.
Is that a thing?
No.
Okay. What word did you say there?
Zihuatanejo Blues.
What is that?
That's the place where they go at the end of Shawshank Redemption.
I've actually never seen that movie in its entirety.
What?
I've seen it bits and pieces on TV.
I feel like, when people say, what's the best movie? I feel like a lot of people pick that.
A lot. I mean, because it for a while there, it was competing with The Godfather and The Dark Knight as the top film in IMDb. Mm-hmm. Which, I'm sorry, if you're going to put a top film in IMDb, it should be The Godfather, not The Shawshank Redemption or The fucking Dark Knight.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I have many thoughts on The Dark Knight, which eventually we'll do a whole episode on.
Oh, good.
Possibly multiple episodes. I have so many people that want to talk about that movie.
Okay. I have a sneaky one for you, and maybe you can help fill out this list.
Okay.
James Earl Jones. I have Star Wars, Lion King, Scary Movie, Sandlot, Casper, Naked Gun, and Patriot Games.
He's in Casper?
He's in Casper as a voice.
Yeah, he plays that girl that befriends a ghost.
Yeah.
He plays
Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
To be fair, James Earl Jones has the range.
Let me find it again.
Oh, man.
That's a good one.
That's a
right?
good one.
It's a great
actually.
get, yeah.
Okay, wait. I want. Here's what we're gonna do. I want to throw one more out here.
Okay.
And
I
then
have a couple sneaky ones.
one more out there, and then I actually legitimately think we need to take a pause and run some numbers and come back because there are some gross exclusions on this list we got to get back to.
Okay.
All right. The last one I'll throw in before we
Kibosh
take
is who he is in
a brief
Casper.
break and do some research here. Peter Cushing.
I'm making eye contact with you, but I
Peter
don't know
Cushing,
who this is.
most famous for playing Grand Moff Tarkin in A New Hope and being played by a different actor, but I'm still going to count it, appearing in Rogue One. So he has 2 Star Wars films. He played Sherlock Holmes 3 times. He played, I think it was like there was like a weird American spin-off of Doctor Who that he played twice. 4 Dracula movies, 7 Frankenstein movies for a total of 18 franchise films.
Wow.
So good old Peter Cushing, kind of sneaking in there with a pretty high count. We're going to take a quick break and come back with some new numbers because we made some mistakes here.
Play that theme song.
Okay, and we're back.
Okay.
We took a quick break to run some numbers. For some reason, I'm out of breath. Okay.
Oh, we also worked out. We worked
We
out.
did,
quickly.
yeah.
We're all wearing tanks.
We all wearing tanks. Did some push-ups, some calisthenics. Put on a Jane Fonda video. It was fantastic. Okay, so I just want to run through real quick. I got more accurate numbers from some people we had mentioned. So Morgan Freeman is 17. Arnold Schwarzenegger 13. Jackie Chan, from what I could figure out, 16. That's a hard one because a lot of his movies are Chinese-made films, but I have 3 Rush Hour films, 6 Police Story movies. He was in the Karate Kid remake, which counts because there were multiple Karate Kid sequels.
Booyah.
3 Kung Fu Pandas, 2 Drunken Masters, and he was in the sequel to Cannonball Run.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Exactly. I also want to throw out one more oddball.
Okay.
A John Ratzenberger.
Oh.
I am legitimately surprised you didn't have this one. I had to go run the numbers. Toy Story, 4 films. He was in The Empire Strikes Back as a background actor. So he is in Star Wars.
Is he a rebel or is he in the Empire?
He's a rebel.
Okay, then I'll accept him.
I'm counting it.
Okay.
I'm counting it. 3 Cars films, 2 Incredibles films, 2 Finding Nemo films, 2 Monsters, Inc. films, and crazy enough, he plays 2 controllers in Superman 1 and Superman 2. So he appears in that franchise as well, bringing him to 5, 8...
Where did he find time to do Cheers?
16 films for John Ratzenberger. My theory is that he must have been living in the UK in like the late 70s, early 80s, because Superman and Star Wars were all filmed out there, and like there's a couple like just actors of a certain period that would always pop up in UK-based films because they're like the sole American actors living out there. There's a guy who's in a whole bunch of James Bond movies, and I'm blanking on his name embarrassingly, but he pops up in a lot of them too. There's a couple of those guys.
Felix Leiter, ever heard of him?
Exactly, Felix Leiter. Okay, so I think that's all.
Jack Wade.
All of the people I have. Now, Cameron, you also found a few more.
I have 3.
Okay, let's hear them.
So one, I have not run the numbers yet, but I think you can probably do it on air. He's in 6 franchises.
Okay.
Simon Pegg.
Oh, okay.
All the Mission Impossibles.
No,
Most of the Mission Impossibles.
he's in 3 of them.
3, 4,
Half of the
4,
Mission
5,
Impossibles.
6, right?
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. 3 Mission, 3 Trek.
Yeah. She's in Shrek?
Trek.
Trek. Yes.
Of the star variety.
It's like, when is he in Shrek?
Trek.
So Mission Impossible, he's in Star Wars.
Yes. That's true. He, I think just one, right? He's a cameo appearance in The Force Awakens, right?
Isn't he's the voice of the barterer on Tatooine?
Yeah.
The
Unkar
junk dealer.
Plot, right?
What?
Isn't it Unkar Plot? Isn't that the character's name?
Yes.
Isn't it Jakku?
That's the planet.
Yes. What were you saying?
Unkar Plot, the character.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, guys. Know your Star Wars.
So Mission Impossible, Star Wars, Star Trek,
Yes.
Ice Age.
Oh, how many Ice Age? Which Ice Age movies? Is
I
he
think
in?
all of them.
He's the squirrel, right?
No.
No.
Did you look him up? Did you just assume he was in Ice Age?
No, I know he's in Ice Age. I didn't look at how many.
I love that I'm still doing your research.
Yes. I told you up front, I haven't done the numbers for him yet.
Hang on. Ice Age Collision Course, Ice Age Continental Drift, Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. He's in 3 Ice Age movies. You are correct.
Do the 3 Shaun of the Dead movies count?
Yes.
As a single franchise?
I don't,
because-
I don't count that.
But they're known as a trilogy.
I don't count that,
The
though.
Cornetto trilogy.
No.
Ice cream ties them together.
No, I don't count that.
Okay, fine,
It's not
then.
it's that's a weird one, but I don't count that as a franchise.
Fine. Okay. Then his last one is he's in the last Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay, so that puts him at 11.
Okay.
All right.
And so I have done the numbers for this one. I have one that
Shocking.
surprised me for the fuck off. I have one that really shocked me. Rob Riggle.
Oh shit.
Rob Riggle is in 2 Jump Streets, 1 Hangover, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, there's a sequel, yeah. Hotel Transylvania 2, Dumb and Dumber 2,
Oh my god.
and Ted.
So how many?
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films.
7. Okay, that's pretty good.
Does that move
But
Jim Carrey
6
up then? Because he's in Bruce Almighty,
Bruce Almighty, Batman Forever,
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, 2 Ace Venturas.
What is that? Lemony Snicket? Isn't he the villain in one of those?
Yeah, but that was one film.
Oh, I thought it had a sequel.
Nope. They did a TV series.
Did you say Dumb
afterwards.
and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber.
2. So
3 Dumb and Dumber.
no,
No, he's not in the second one. You're right. Sorry.
that puts him at 6. I don't think he's done any other sequels that I can recall.
And so now my last. Do you have any others? Because I think
No.
this is a good one to end on.
No. All right.
Rowan Atkinson.
Oh my God! How did I miss Rowan Atkinson?
He is
Holy
in-
shit!
One Lion King.
Yes.
He is in-
450 Mr. Beans.
We don't count The Lion King though. No theatrical release sequels.
1.5 was theatrical release. No, it wasn't. You're right. It had a special release.
Yeah.
Damn
so
it. Okay, fine.
Kill The Lion King.
Okay. Johnny English. 3 Johnny English.
Yes.
1 Scooby Doo.
Yes.
1 James Bond.
Wait, is he in Never Say Never Again?
He is Never Say Never Again.
Oh, I feel so dirty.
I don't. I'm not gonna count that
Why?
because Never Say Never Again isn't part of the official Bond canon.
Fuck you guys.
I'm sorry, but no, I don't count it. I don't count
I'm
it.
sorry, but
Fucking
I'm
James
not
Bond
sorry.
film.
Fine. Okay, fine. You know what? Okay, I will give it to you for one reason.
Okay.
It does fit.
Because I found it.
No, it fits our box because technically it is a remake of a film that is part of a franchise. It's
Yes.
a remake of Thunderball. Thunderball has as a franchise film, so we'll count it. Fine. Fine.
Okay, so he's in those, and then he's in 10 Mr. Bean movies. He missed Nick Fury by 1.
Oh my God! 10
Mr. Beans.
Did Blackadder ever do films or was it just TV?
It was just TV, because
Just
I
TV.
almost added that.
Okay, so he's at 14, which is pretty damn good.
I had 17.
One other one I want to just throw out there.
1,
Leslie
2, 3,
Nielsen.
4, 5,
Oh,
6.
well.
No, he's in 16.
Okay, so he's in one of the 2 Airplane movies.
Naked Gun.
Naked
He's
Gun.
in 3 Naked Gun movies.
Police Academy. Isn't he?
Is he?
in that?
I don't know if he's in Police
I thought
Academy.
he was in one
I don't
of
think
those.
he is. It's a good pull though. Okay, wait. Did you run the numbers on James Earl Jones?
Yeah, James Earl Jones. Now that I have to take off the 3 Lion Kings,
Yes. You must. Yes,
he
you
is in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah, because 2 Sandlots, 5 Star Wars, Scary Movie, Casper, Naked Gun, Patriot Games, Conan.
Okay, right. Wait, no, he's in multiple Jack Ryan movies.
Oh, is he?
I think he's in 3. I'm pretty sure he's in Patriot Games. He's in Patriot Games. It's not Collateral Damage. It's oh my god.
Collateral Impact.
No, it's The Hunt for October, Patriot Games, and what's this other God damn it, the other Harrison Ford Jack Ryan movie, Clear and Present Danger. I'm pretty sure he's in that.
Okay. I couldn't just see that when I was scrolling. I was looking for a 2
Fair.
or a return of.
Okay, so we have, in terms of appearances and franchise films, we have in order from the top 5: Samuel Jackson, Christopher Lee, Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford, Peter Cushing.
Okay.
So I think by the numbers, obviously Samuel Jackson is the winner. But we were saying earlier, I don't think he's necessarily like the face of a lot of those franchises, like the most iconic element of those franchises, the first thing you think of. So the question then has to become, who is the actual franchise king? Who's the person who is most closely tied with their franchises and has the biggest franchises? Who would each of you argue?
I will still say Stallone.
I would agree.
I would also agree, actually.
That was a lot easier than
That was a lot easier than I thought. I was heavily inclined towards Harrison Ford because he has Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and Blade Runner, I think, are very much like his franchises.
Yes.
But to be fair, though, Stallone, Rocky, Rambo, and The Expendables, and I think The Expendables, Expendables,
Expendables,
The
expanded universe.
has more films, and I think he's kind of more tied with those. But I also think he just has more movies of his films. Like Star Wars, obviously, Han Solo's a huge part of it, but that universe exists beyond him. Whereas like Rocky is still
they
in
can't
all
make
the Rocky
those movies without him.
Yeah, like you could possibly see them doing more Creeds without him, but like he is still a huge part of that. Same with Rambo. More or less him, The Expendables. Like those are franchises you cannot do without him. We've seen that even of Harrison Ford stuff, one of his 2 biggest franchises has been done without him. We had the Solo spinoff. So I think at the end of the day, Stallone is the franchise king. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty crazy.
Sorry, Christopher Lee.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Peter Cushing.
Yeah. But like I will also give Stallone credit that he also wrote and directed a lot of those movies too. So like he is so closely tied with those franchises. Like those are absolutely his babies, for better or worse. Mm-hmm. That's good, guys.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I
Well
do
done.
have I do want to do a spin-off of this at some point of most franchises per age. So who's the youngest person with the most franchises?
Oh God.
Where are you going to find this time?
Who's the person you're thinking of that has inspired this?
I'm just thinking like we had James Earl Jones, we had Christopher Lee, and we had Peter Cushing, who all acted their entire lives.
Morgan Freeman and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, they're all still acting, and they've been doing it. Well,
except for the ones that are dead.
Yeah, Sam Jackson is I think different because he didn't get his first role until his early 40s, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up again. But I mean, he was doing stuff in the 80s. I think maybe even into the 70s.
Very small.
I was going to say, I thought, his whole big thing was he didn't really, like, get it.
Yeah, he
until
didn't,
the
like,
40s.
really pop until the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, he's done this in a shorter amount of time than everyone else.
this is true.
So that, we got to applaud him on that.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Samuel Jackson, and well
Fuck
done.
you, old farts, Christopher
Well
Lee.
done. Hey, I'm sorry, but that man had an incredible career, all right? There's so many things we didn't even include.
Please, we know there's so many things we missed.
Yes.
Don't be upset if we forgot someone that you were
No,
like.
But this is also the time to just be like, blast off in the comments with all the other ones that we don't have.
yeah. I mean, look, there are people that we made, like, we referenced but didn't actually dive into. Bruce Willis, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Matt Damon.
I had,
Mark
anyone in
Wahlberg.
the Oceans, like, verse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, Matt Damon would be a good contender. Brad Pitt. George Clooney's got a Batman franchise in there, too.
Yeah.
Didn't
So,
have.
And we didn't want to go too far into international because
Yeah.
we know, as big as Sam Jackson is, the second we dip our toe in Bollywood,
Yeah.
he's not even maybe top 5 anymore.
Not even close. And to your point, voice actors too would make a huge impact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also like, can we get women franchises maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the other real takeaway here. Can we get more female franchises? I mean, we got a Sandy B in there. She's Oceans. She's Miss
Speed.
Congeniality. Speed. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it for her. But she's
What's that Sylvester Stallone movie where they're in the future and they use clams as toilet paper?
What?
Demolition Man.
Demolition
Oh,
Man.
God.
Thank you. Actually, Wesley Snipes would have been a good one to throw in there too. At some point, we didn't do him because he's got Blade, the fugitive / U.S. Marshal franchise.
Ryan Reynolds was another one I thought about.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds would have been good to throw in there.
Who's the new
Anna
young
Kendrick has
actress?
Pitch
Anna
Perfect
Kendrick.
and Accountant too.
And Accountant too. That's
That's
right.
true. Yeah, I mean Ben Affleck.
Affleck.
Who's the girl that was in what was the franchise that made 3 but the third one was so bad it was demoted to TV and then it just never aired?
Sister to the Traveling Pants.
No. Recent female teen action film.
High School Musical.
Yes, Vanessa. No, she's in Spectacular Now with.
Yes,
Teller.
it's Divergent.
Shailene Woodley.
Yes, yeah. She's in franchises.
Divergent.
I think she
Divergent.
just got the Divergent.
Okay.
I don't think she had anything else.
There you go, women.
Yeah. But no, I would love to hear.
Cam, I'm sorry, that's not a great example when you're like, it was so bad it got devoted to a TV
devoted to
movie.
yeah.
I know.
But no, I would
I felt
love.
like she was in something else, and I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, but if you have other people you thought of that we should have included on our list somewhere, or if you disagree with our assessment that at the end of the day, Sylvester Stallone is in fact the franchise king.
I wouldn't even bring up JCVD. Damn it.
Guys, can you not tell that I'm trying to wrap this shit up?
Sorry.
Chris,
What
you want to
about-
finish? I've got a couple more. Mike Myers, Seth Rogen.
It's been a real pleasure,
I wrote Woody
everyone.
Harrelson down.
Thank you for
Jeff
listening.
Bridges,
Jeff
Ben
Goldblum.
Stiller, Channing Tatum. Let's see, Jeremy Renner. That's all I
Shane,
got.
where can we find you?
Yeah.
I told you, if anyone wants to play golf, just blast off in the Instagram
Just
comments.
Just find Shane on
Otherwise,
Instagram.
I'm pretty busy.
To play golf. But if you have other ideas for other major franchise actors or actresses, you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. We'd love to hear your thoughts. I am at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find my art at Cameron.Exter, and if you want to see my face and all of my Halloween-y things, you can find that, or other holiday things, depending on when this comes out.
No, this will be coming out soon.
Oh.
It'll be coming out before Halloween.
Then Halloween things, you can find that at CamDexter_Adventures.
Yeah. If you just want to remember that Disneyland exists and you're not there, follow Cameron on Instagram.
Because he is very
Because he is
present.
there.
I like Disneyland.
I don't know.
Thanks,
There's
everybody.
nothing. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.